Please mark your attendance. Okay, then take page number 60 in your textbook. We are going to study our last topic, that is natural gas. Take page number 60. So this is our last topic, that is natural gas, the other natural resource. That is natural gas, which is a very important fossil fuel because it is easy to transport through pipes, and natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas. Do you familiar the term CNG? CNG, did you heard about? It is compressed natural gas. So natural gas, it is also a fossil fuel, and we can easily to because it is easy to transport through pipes, and also the natural gas which is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas. So CNG is the compressed natural gas in which natural gas is stored under high pressure. Underline that, it is important. What is compressed natural gas? Compressed natural gas means natural gas which is stored under high pressure as it is compressed. Okay, and CNG, what are the main uses of CNG? That is CNG which is used for making power generation. So we can use it for the power generation. And it is now being used as a fuel for transport vehicles because it is less polluting. So as the pollution is less compared to other fuels, what nowadays CNG is most popular fuel for transport vehicle, and it is a cleaner fuel. So these are the main uses of a CNG. CNG, which means the compressed natural gas, and the natural gas which is stored under high pressure form this compressed natural gas, that is CNG, and it is being used as a fuel for transport vehicle. Why it is used in transporting vehicle? Because CNG which is less polluting. Okay, that's why CNG is used in vehicle transportation, and it is a cleaner fuel. And the other advantage of CNG is that the great advantage of CNG is that it can be used directly for burning in homes and factories where it can be supplied through pipes. So the direct burning is occurred by CNG. So it is the main advantage or most important advantage of CNG, that it is can be directly used directly for burning. Then it can be supplied through pipes, that we already said, and such a network of pipelines exists in Vadodara. Vadodara is in Gujarat, some parts of Delhi and other places. So mostly this type of CNG pipelines that are that pipeline networks which are exist in Vadodara, mainly in Gujarat and Delhi and other parts. Okay, other places like that. Then natural gas is also used as a starting material for the manufacture of number of chemicals and fertilizers. So the other important peculiarity of a natural gas is that it is used as a starting material for preparing what? Preparing fertilizers and chemicals. So one of the important peculiarity of a natural gas is that it is used as a static material for the preparation of chemicals and fertilizers. And India has vast reserves of natural gas. In our country, the natural gas has been found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in Krishna Godavari Delta. So these are the places where natural gas mostly found in India. Which are they? Which are they? And Maria, please unmute your mic and tell me. Unmute your mic. Mostly natural gas is found in where? Which states? Like Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in Krishna Godavari Delta. Okay. And Maria, can you hear me?
Miss,
Yes, okay. Now I can hear you. Please read about natural gas. Please read the peculiarities of natural gas.
natural gas is a very important fossil fuel because it is easy to transport through pipes. Natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas, CNG. CNG is used for power generation. It is now being used as a fuel for transport vehicles because it is less polluting. It is a cleaner fuel. The great advantage of CNG is that it can be used directly for burning in homes and factories where it can be supplied through pipes. Such a network of pipelines exists in Vadodara, Gujarat, some parts of Delhi and other places. Natural gas is also used as a starting material for the manufacture of a number of chemicals and fertilizers. India has vast reserves of natural gas. In our country, natural gas has been found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in the Krishna Godavari Delta.
Okay. Dia, why are you late? Okay. Please mark your attendance. Okay. Then the next one, some natural resources that are limited. You have studied in the beginning of the chapter that some natural resources are exhaustible like fossil fuels, forests, minerals, etc. So what are exhaustible and inexhaustible natural resources? Tell me, anybody, Ijaz or Anne-Maria, please tell me.
Substance that can be damaged.
Okay. What is that?
Exhaustible natural resources.
Okay. They are occurring limited amount, limited quantity, or can be exhausted by the human activities. Okay. So we are familiar with the natural resource like exhaustible and inexhaustible like fossil fuels, forests, minerals, etc. And you know that coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. It required the dead organism millions of years to get converted into these fuels. Isn't it? That we already told in the morning session class, that is the dead organism that present under the earth are called as fossil fuels. And this organism will be found in million years ago, isn't it? And it is converted into fuels. So on the other hand, the non-reserves of these will last only a few hundred years. So some of them will be last only for a few hundred years. And moreover, burning of these fuels is a major cause of air pollution. So how the air pollution will occur? Some fossil fuels which may last only for a few hundred years. More others may last for millions of years. And but in case some others, they last only for 100 million or 100 years. And the burning of these such a fuels that cause a major cause of air pollution. It is the major cause of air pollution. Their use is also linked to global warming. So it also affects what? Global warming. And it is therefore necessary that we use these fuels only when absolutely necessary. This will result in better environment, smaller risk of global warming, and their availability for a long period of time. So we want to use such a natural resources or such exhaustible resources, but after a long time. Otherwise, what will happen? It may cause pollution and other environmental hazards. Okay. So in India, the Petroleum Conservation Research Association, that is PCRA. What do you mean by PCRA? PCRA is the Petroleum Conservation Research Association, and it advises the pupil how to save petrol or diesel while driving. Their tips are some of the tips that should be followed in order to avoid the excess use of petrol or diesel. In order to save petrol or diesel, that is, drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. That is one important tip, that we should drive at a constant speed or at a moderate speed in order to avoid the excess burning of a fuel. Then switch off the engine at a traffic lights or at a place where you have to wait. So that is the second reason. What? You want to switch off the engine during what traffic time or if you wait for something. Then ensure correct tire pressure. Okay. Correct tire pressure is required to save the fuel and ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle. These are the main tips for saving these fuels. Okay. Then read the portion that some natural resource that are limited. Ijaz, can you read? Ijaz?
Yes, miss.
Please read that some natural resources are limited. Why?
You have studied in the beginning of the chapter that some natural resources are exhaustible like fossil fuels, forests, minerals, etc. You know that coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. It required the dead organisms millions of years to get converted into these fuels. On the other hand, the known reserves of these will last only a few hundred years. Moreover, burning of these fuels is major cause of air pollution. Their use is also linked to global warming. It is therefore necessary that we use these fuels only when absolutely necessary. This will result in better environment, smaller risk of global warming, and their availability for a long period of time. In India, the Petroleum Conservation Research Association (PCRA) advises people how to save petrol, diesel while driving. Their tips are drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. Switch off the engine at traffic lights or at a place where you have to wait. Ensure correct tire pressure. Ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle.
Okay. Faith, why are you late? Faith, I can't hear.
കേറാൻ നോക്കുന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു പക്ഷെ പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻ മീറ്റിംഗ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ലീവ് ആയി പോവാ രണ്ടു വട്ടം
Okay.
കേറിയായിരുന്നു.
Okay. Please mark your attendance. So now we can move to the next our exercise. In page number 62, you can see that there is a column given that what we have learned in this lesson. Please listen that. In the first part, that is coal, petroleum, and natural gas are fossil fuels. We studied about the natural resources. Here we can say coal, petroleum, and the natural gas, which are the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels were formed from the dead remains of living organisms millions of years ago. The fossil fuels are exhaustible resources. Coke, coal tar, and coal gas are the products of coal. We learned it, isn't it? Then petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, kerosene, paraffin wax, lubricating oil that are obtained by refining petroleum. And coal and petroleum resources are limited. We should use them judiciously. Okay, so we should use them carefully because it is limited. And only we can conserve for it for next generation, isn't it? That activity shows that. Did you remember the activity at the beginning of the lesson? So we want to conserve it for our next generation also. Then the exercise given in your textbook, please mark the one word question answers in the textbook itself. Okay, first question. What are the advantages of using CNG and LPG as fuels? The advantage is given, we already read it, isn't it? The LPG and the CNG. What is the advantage of CNG and LPG? Can write the important points in the side. Okay. After that, you should write it in your notebook. I will send the notes. then you can write in the notebook. Now you can mark the points only in the textbook. Okay. The advantage of using CNG and LPG fuels. First one, what? They burn with a smokeless flame and so does not cause any pollution. So it burns with a smokeless flame. That is one of the main use. It burns with a smokeless flame and they have no ash on burning. The another point is they have no ash on burning. You can write in your textbook. They have no ash on burning. And one point also there, they are easily to handle and convenient to store. You can write they are easy to handle and convenient to store. Then next one, name the petroleum product used for surfacing of roads. Which is that? Petroleum product used for road surfacing. You can check out that call.
Is road tar, coal tar?
Yes, coal tar, but in India, is coal tar is used. There is another name, another substance called what? In table 5.1, Faith, you read that table in the last class. Then you forgot that. For road surfacing, which petroleum constituent is used?
Coal?
Not coal. Coal tar is a substance used for road mattering. But in India or nowadays, one other product which is used commonly. What's the name?
Food airline.
You can see page number 60, table 5.1. For road surfacing, Faith, please mute your mic. It's so disturbing. Okay. For road surfacing, we use what?
Bitumen.
Yeah, bitumen. Yeah. In page number 58 also given in a column. Did you see that? I told you to underline that column, that sentence. Okay. So the petroleum product used for surfacing of roads is called bitumen. Then describe how coal is formed from the dead vegetation. And what is this process called? Faith, what happened to you? What's the problem?
Second answer. Second question answer.
Second question answer is bitumen. It is given in the textbook, that column, last column, 7, 5 in 5.1, table 5.1, 7 to 1. Bitumen, which is used as a paint or road surfacing. So it is a constituent of petroleum. So which constituent of petroleum is used for road surfacing? That is why I told you to study this table, because one word questions will be from here. Okay, some other constituent are also there. Maybe the use will be given and the question may be asked like that. What is the constituent of petroleum that used for lubrication? What is that? Lubricating oil, isn't it? Which is the petroleum constituent used for making candles or Vaseline ointments? Which is that? Paraffin wax, like that. Okay. So in the next Thursday's class, I will ask this column. Study well. Then our third question, describe how coal is formed from the dead vegetation. That also we discussed in page number 57. Story of coal. Did you see that? Story of coal. It is explained how coal is obtained. Describe how coal is formed from dead vegetation. And what is that process called? What is that process? I told you a lot of time. Tell me, Anne Maria. Yeah, carbonization. Very good. That is carbonization. And how coal is formed from dead vegetation? Millions of years ago, were trees, plants, ferns, and forests that are got buried below the rocks, soil, and sand due to natural process like flooding, earthquake, etc. And slowly, as more soil deposited over them, and they were compressed. So these soil were deposited over the dead vegetation or dead plants. After what will happen? Under high pressure, it will be compressed down. And also this led to the condition of a high pressure and heat. And these condition along with the anaerobic condition turned the carbon enriched organic matter of wood into coal. So the carbon enriched matter then convert into what? Coal. And that process is called what? Carbonization. So this is how coal will be formed. It is given in the textbook itself. I will send the answer later. Then you can write in your notebook. Okay. Then question number 4, fill in the blanks. Fossil fuels are dash, dash and dash. What is the answer? Fossil fuels are, which are the fossil fuels we studied?
Coal,
Yes,
petroleum.
coal, petroleum.
Natural gas.
Yeah, natural gas. That are the fossil fuels. Write down there. Fossil fuels are coal, second one petroleum, third one and natural gas. Okay, did you write? Then B, the process of separation of different constituents from petroleum is called what? The process of separation of different constituents from petroleum is called, yes.
Petroleum.
Yeah, refining, petroleum refining. Yes, right answer. Write down, refining. The next question. Least polluting fuel for vehicle. Which is the least polluting fuel for vehicle? That we discussed in the last session. Fuels that is used in vehicle because it is less polluting. In natural,
CNG.
yeah, CNG. That is compressed natural gas. Faith, did you get the answer? Why are you not replying? Tell me the answers. Tell me the answer of fill in the blanks. First one, fossil fuels are dash, dash and dash. What's the answer? I can't hear. Please remove your headset. I think it is something.
Coal, petroleum, natural gas.
Yeah, coal, petroleum and natural gas. Then second one, process of separation of different constituents from petroleum is called. What is that process? We studied it. The process of separation of various. Petroleum.
Carbon, hydrogen.
Petroleum refining. Did you see that? Refining of petroleum. Page number 59. In page number 59, did you see the topic? Refining of petroleum.
Yes, miss.
The last sentence. What is that? The process of separating various constituents or fractions of petroleum is known as refining. So you can write the process of separation of different constituents from petroleum is called what? Refining. That process is called refining. Then least polluting fuel for vehicle. Which is the least polluting fuel for vehicle? CNG, natural gas, compressed natural gas. It is the least polluting fuel for vehicle. Write down. compressed natural gas, that is CNG. Then fifth one, tick true or false against the following statements. First question, fossil fuels can be made in the laboratory. Is it true or false? Fossil fuel. Is it true or false?
Fossil fuels can be made in
Yeah.
false.
False. Why? Because fossil fuels are naturally occurring, isn't it? We know that it is a natural resource, it is naturally occurring, so it cannot be made in the laboratory. So the statement fossil fuels can be made in the laboratory is a false statement. Then CNG is more polluting fuel than petrol. Is it true or false?
False.
False. Faith, in the last fill in the blank question, we said the answer. Least polluting fuel for vehicle. Least polluting means what? Less polluting. CNG is a less polluting fuel. Then how CNG is more polluting fuel than petrol, we can say? How we can say? No. So that is a false statement. That statement is wrong because CNG is a less polluting fuel than petrol. Then coke is almost a pure form of carbon. Is it true or false? Coke.
True.
True. Yes, it is directly given in the textbook that in the page 58 below the term coke, it is an almost pure form of carbon. Then coal tar is a mixture of various substances. Is it true or false? Coal tar. Yes. True statement. Then kerosene is not a fossil fuel. Is it true or false? False. False. Because what? Kerosene. The statement, listen the statement carefully. Kerosene is not a fossil fuel. But we know that it is a fossil fuel. So the statement that is false. Then explain why fossil fuels are exhaustible natural resources. Explain the reason. Explain why fossil fuels are exhaustible natural resources. I will say the answer. Fossil fuels because fossil fuel take millions of years to be formed. That we know. It takes a millions of years to form a fossil fuel, isn't it? It will be go deep under the earth, and after millions of years we can extract or refine the fuel. They are limited in nature and cannot be replenished easily once consumed. Hence, they are considered as exhaustible natural resource. So we can say that it is a limited resource. So it is exhaustible and also exhausted by man, isn't it? So excess use will be reduce the amount of fuel present in the earth, isn't it? So that is why it is said that we want to store or we want to conserve it for our next generation. Understand? The next question, describe the characteristic and uses of coke. It can be, you can describe it because it is in the textbook. Characteristics of coke means what it contains most of. It is a pure form of carbon. Then it is tough, porous, and black substance. Then it produces very little smoke, isn't it? It produces very little smoke. And what are the uses? Coke is useful as a fuel. We can use it as a fuel. It is a good reducing agent, and also it is widely used in metallurgical process to reduce metals from their oxide. It is used for producing water gas. All these are the additional uses of coke. Okay, I will send these notes. After that, you should write it in your notebook and study this question answers. It will be asked in your exam. Okay. Then, eighth one, question number 8. Explain the process of formation of petroleum. It is also given in the textbook. I will read it. Petroleum, which is formed by the burial of aquatic plants or animals, or dead matter of aquatic plants or animals below the seabed. The marine animals and plants died thousands of years ago and settled down in the bottom of the sea. Then what happened in a anaerobic condition, microorganisms decompose this organic matter, and due to high pressure and heat, the dead remains of tiny plants and animals were slowly converted into petroleum. So all this dead matter converted into petroleum as a result of its high pressure and temperature. Okay. Then question number 9. The following table shows total power storage of shortage of India from 2004 to 2010. Show the data in the form of a graph. Pipe shortage percentage for the for the years on y-axis and year on the x-axis.
Miss,
Yes, plot.
Miss, 1991 to 1997 alle.
Yeah, it is from 1991 to 1991 from to 1997. Okay, in your textbook it is given in this year. So you can draw a plot like which is on the x-axis, percentage for the year on the y-axis and a year on the x-axis. Do you know how to draw a graph?
Yes.
Yes, x-axis and y-axis, mention the years or mark the values and mention the denote the points and join it. Okay, try to draw this graph. Tell me.
ഈ ബോക്സ് വരച്ചാൽ മതിയോ?
Yeah, first of all you should draw this box and then mark this point. Plot shortage percentage in the y-axis, shortage percentage for the years on the y-axis and the year on the x-axis. So a graph should be like this, isn't it? There will be x-axis, which is the x-axis, the axis horizontal to the plane, that is this axis. This is the x-axis and vertical plane, vertical axis is the y-axis. So you can mark shortage percentage in the y-axis and year in the x-axis. After that, draw the graph. Okay. Then after drawing the graph, you can send to me. I will check it and correct. Okay. I will send you, if any mistake, I will send you the corrected graph. Okay, then. So I think you understood this lesson. We finished our 5th lesson. It is a simple and small lesson, coal and petroleum. Only discussing about some exhaustible natural resources like coal, natural gas, and petroleum, isn't it? And its refining methods. Okay. Then exercise also you should write in your textbook. Then Faith, please read that column what we have learned from this chapter once more.
Miss, please say once more.
What we have learned from this chapter. Our lesson is over. Then what we have learned from this chapter. Page number 62. Page number 62. What you have learned. Page number 62.
Coal, petroleum, and natural gas are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels were formed from the dead remains of animals organisms millions of years ago. Fossil fuels are exhaustible resource. Coal, tar, and coal gas are the product of coal. Petroleum gas, petrol, diesel,
Kerosene.
What is this?
Paraffin wax.
Paraffin wax, lubricating oil, and obtained by refining petroleum. Coal and petroleum resources are limited. We should use them
Judiciously. So write the notes in your notebook after I send you the notes, and also study this lesson for the next class. Okay. So our topic is over. Now our time is also going to over. You can leave from the meeting. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.